Hello, everyone. My name's Yuta Jazz, and we are going to come back with videos this week. And obviously, the Occult Saga podcast must continue. So, today I really want to talk about telepathy because it has been popping up as a conversation point for me recently a little bit. But besides that, it's one of the most interesting points about spirituality, consciousness, and everything that is because basically it's weird how we notice it occurring, but a lot of the time you can undermine it, put it aside to something or whatever. Um, in general, people like making it a thing of resonance between two minds or the group or the whatever it is, environment in general, right? But the truth of the reality is telepathy is always occurring. It is this mental fabric plane that has a conversation point or exchange occurring at all points and times. Telepathy to us seems like it just kind of pops up and happens, but the thing is, it's constantly happening, and you tune into it or click into it through your own actual awareness, consciousness, being present, being aligned with the, I guess, frequencies is the easiest way to describe it. And because of that resonance occurring, or because of your openness, kind of leading you there, you can see and notice things before they really occur, before they really happen, before someone says something or you say something, and it just kind of clicks like that. But telepathy, there's also like a lot of different types to it. There is telepathy, as we know, like, oh, I just thought something, someone just said something that was the same thing or we just thought of the same thing at the same time, right? But telepathy also occurs when you're by yourself talking to yourself about that person, or in a way in your head talking to them in general. That is an actual exchange of energy and consciousness happening. It's a very interesting practical test that can be applied to anyone in everyone's lives. It does, depend on how well you get along with people within your family, friend group, or whatever. But in general, you can check how your relationship dynamics and conversation points and just in general attitudes might shift because you change the way you narrate your own dialogue to them, right, or with them, or how you have monologues that include their, I don't know, identity for you in your own head, right? And it's really not noticeable, but it happens all the time. Everyone freaking does that. Everyone always is constantly kind of sending out like ripples within consciousness and then the astral or eternity or whatever, and then receiving ripples back. You can obviously play around with that. You can also change your own tune that can shift like the whole dynamic, right? But you can also just interact in different ways and see what happens when you're connecting with certain people because yeah, it really doesn't go away. There's also a really weird other instance where you can actually have like conversations both people remember. A lot of the time it's one-sided. A lot of the time there's going to be one person that actually hears or thinks it, and another person can either just have like a vibe or inkling, or it shows up for them more like in the material with the conversation following, right? It's kind of like catching someone up to speed. But there's also a telepathy thing that happens where it's just feeling. If you've ever woken up a person by just thinking about them or had them send a certain message out of the blue or whatever it's been like that, right? That would be the easiest way to put it into an example. You kind of speak about someone or you have a very intent like focus on them being present or showing up or waking up or doing whatever it is, right? And it just occurs. So it's not necessarily telepathy like a conversation, right? Or the previous examples, but it is still telepathy in the point of you literally kind of pulled on that person's energy, you send them some mental energy or something like that, and now they've reacted through that medium in general as well. So yeah, telepathy I really advise everyone, I guess, to just be open to its possibility and know that it's not necessarily just a psychic thing. It's a ever occurring like constant within how our energy and brains and minds and consciousness works. It's unavoidable, and it is kind of like a primary basis where you can really shift a lot in terms of how people treat you, random strangers, people you know, people you're in relationships with, like all of it. And how the thing is, like, I guess people usually don't delve into it too much because one, it can be kind of trippy a bit, right? Or have its own like kind of undertone at certain points, but it's really kind of just being more present and conscious within your own experience, how you can narrate it, but also other people and then the conversations or communications that come from it. It's very much worth it. It's very much worth checking out for yourself how it works for you. What do you feel about it? What do you think about it? And being also open to having those experiences with other people because it's here and there, right? You don't necessarily experience that with absolutely like everyone, or you have bouts, or it's a weird time, or whatever, or maybe it is a particular person for a particular reason, season, or lifetime. It's still easy to ignore even if you believe it or trust it or know that it's happening. It's just always still really good to look into and experiment with because you gain a lot of personal answers as well as just good experiences, trippy time, right? More conscious or close or intimate or sentimental conversations in general as well. So, yeah, I'm looking at the time and I'm kind of like, do I really not have anything else to say about telepathy? I guess we can talk about how you can practice it. I guess so, yeah. So to practice telepathy, you can start by having an intention, but also you can just start by whoever's like closest to you and you feel like comfortable with about that vibe with, seeing how your narration affects them over time or how they might actually respond and start maybe even reading your mind, as it said, right? As it's mentioned before, it's a resonance thing. It's not necessarily an easy skill to put down to science and practicality and be like, oh yeah, just do this. It's an openness type of thing. But you can call it in by checking and seeing yourself in that communication, putting it out there, receiving it when you do, like not downplaying it and putting it down that that didn't happen or that's not real or whatever, but instead being like, oh, okay, maybe I can have this different type of experience, right? Maybe there's something underlaying here that is worth checking out, or that really just happened is enough as well. For psychics, telepathy kind of unravels as a undertone overall. It's kind of like a language you learn, and it happens by noticing symbols that other people mention, them being, around you out of nowhere or whatever, or noticing certain vibes and or feelings or just the energy of like a person popping up and then that also occurring in the material sense. It's honestly a lot more intense for psychics, I would say. That's why you gotta also learn your like I don't know, lessons or teachings about how to hold that power, how to set boundaries, how to, remain open, what hours to take is a very usual one. Like for example, if you're during the day, doing something and you don't want to have telepathic conversations, you postpone it to have that conversation later on, or you set a boundary with specific energies, beings, and people. So it's it becomes a lot more intricate and intense, but also there's a lot more to do with it or play with it. It doesn't necessarily come out of left field as much, where you're not expecting it and it's a shock. Instead, it's very like personal and intuitive where you just see that you have like another line of communication besides just the direct ones that we all use, like basic conversations, phones, messaging, letters, if you still send letters. And by that point, it's really going to just keep evolving and becoming something new every and single time because you're going to then just see all of the different branches of telepathy and how it affects other people. How do you work with it? What are the different colors of it? What are the different fucking dimensions, for example? If you're an astral traveler, then it's kind of like, you notice there's a different language or a different vibe on every in all dimensions that you inhabit or you connect with people over. If you're that canny that you can actually like, sense, oh, this is a denser dimension, this is a higher frequency one. This is my aspect there, this is my aspect over there. These are those people. And it doesn't need to only happen in dreams, right? It just astrally can occur when you're also awake, which is the whole prime basis of it. So yeah, not really for the faint of heart in a way as well, because you can get kind of tripped out by it and lost in personal ideas, fantasies, expectations even. You can, in general, kind of just get a bit controlling or obsessive or egocentrical or think you know and see more than you do because it's like if you have so much evidence on an experience, eventually you might start manifesting it as well, or literally painting the walls like that, but it's not actually there. um, you're just kind of putting things together out of assumptions, and assumptions are never okay. Everything with telepathy usually has a trickling down effect where when it occurs, you have some type of physical evidence, so you yourself can trust it if other people aren't open to actually, making the experience known or conscious to them. There's also instances of how people can literally lose track of a topic or conversation because you enter a certain telepathic vibe, right? And then out of it, everything closes off, and it's like the conversation never happened. That's an interesting phenomena because it's kind of like the person peeks out a little bit to have that experience and then goes back to whatever is most grounding and centering for them, kind of like maybe even downplaying it, right? Or saying like that actually literally didn't happen. So if that happens or occurs, it's kind of confusing, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're in the wrong. It's just different levels of exchanges with different people that are comfortable at different speeds. There's no point in really pushing any of these things. But yeah, I'm really looking over the whole thing and I'm like, I really expected this to be a longer episode, but I really don't think it is gonna be a longer episode. Eh, we'll see what else I think of. Today's a slow day. I guess today's a slow day. Uh, I'm cool with it. I hope you are too. Honestly, there's much to discuss about it, but I guess I'm gonna prepare with some writings of my own and maybe, receive some questions before I delve into this more because I guess currently I'm also revisiting the lessons of telepathy and gaining more like vast detail about how it works, what it is, why it is, etc. To me, it's very normal in a way. Honestly, to me, it's constant. I can see it occurring between people. I can hear it, feel it, right? To others, it's not really there or as prominent unless there's more of a personal touch to it or something like emotional happening underneath between individuals or groups or whatever, a group of people. So, yeah, but you can analyze a lot through that prism. You can see a lot of truth just by observing any social thing we do, really, whether it's an event, a meeting, a freaking job interview, a online sesh of some sort, right, or social media. It's just everywhere. Just keep your eyes out, I guess, and look over it and see what you see, and go on the ride and experience it. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. I hope this was enjoyable for you. Shorter format, but not always bad. and I will come back to ya with a pick a pile, and then after that, I am going to still be coming back to streaming. I think at least one day this week, but if not, I'm gonna do two. If you want a personal reading, and if you wanna like, have it on Twitch for free and have a good time there with us just chatting about community vibes and hippie jazz and all that jazz. So, yeah, have a good one. I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Peace out.